You've been healing.
Yes.
Talk to us about that journey. I understand it's not easy, right? So many years, and you just said it seconds ago, you're still healing, but share that process, if you don't mind, with us, and how this has been, talking about it, maybe seeing a therapist, if you don't mind sharing it, as this could help so many others.
First thing I like to tell everybody about healing is it's not a destination, it's a journey. It's constantly doing the work inside the office is the easy part because you have a person that's navigating you through it, that's working when you're triggered, that's there for you when you have your moments of anxiety and when you're discussing the trauma. It's what you do outside of the room and the work that you do outside of your therapist's office that I find really matters. It's remembering to breathe when you have moments of anxiety. It's when you have emotional breakdowns and you're triggered and you're going through the withdrawals and you're going through the flashbacks. It's not forgetting that there's somebody there to help you breathe, to help you navigate the anxiety. I think that healing is probably, for me, and this is just my experience, I think the healing was a lot more difficult to navigate for me than the actual abuse being with Jeffrey, because it's unlearning all the negativity, it's unlearning all the survival coping skills that got me through alive. But now I have to unlive those skills and I have to relearn everything else in life that's the healthy, correct way of coping and of taking your trauma on head on. And that's hard when you have to unlearn everything that got you through the toughest moments in your life, the reason why you made it out alive, and you have to break yourself down to the bone, and you have to rebuild from the ground up, and that's difficult.
You experienced the most heinous acts at 16. The year before, something that is unspeakable. I'm so sorry this happened to you. What would you say to somebody who has been raped before, has experienced something so traumatic that they feel that they just cannot continue?
I think it's important to understand that when you are sexually abused or you're raped or sexually assaulted, it comes with a lot of shame. It comes with a lot of guilt, a lot of disappointment, a lot of anger. It's important to look at people who act out because there's two deciding factors when you go through sexual assault or sexual abuse. That kind of trauma, you either become over-sexualized and promiscuous, or you become so terrified of exploring that with your partner or any partner that you internalize it and you kind of crawl into a shell. So there's two different outcomes in that. But what I can tell women, men, children that go through or experience any type of sexual trauma is you don't have to go through it alone. It's important to find a therapist that specializes in the trauma that you just endured. You need to put in the work. You cannot give up. You cannot live with it, and you're never going to get through it alone. I did it for 17 years, and I can tell you it's not doable to go through it alone. You need to accept what is and let go, and you need to find that little beacon of light, because everybody has a little bit light inside them, and you need to grip down on it, and you need to hold on to it with every last strength that you have. And you need to keep moving, and you need to keep pushing, and you cannot be scared. You cannot be scared of what people are going to criticize you for, pointing the finger. You cannot worry about that. You need to worry about how you're going to get through it and move on.
How did you overcome those challenges of people pointing the finger at you or saying these things because you quote unquote recruited after he did this to you, right? But how did you deal with that?
Well, the best part about all of this is that I know the truth because I endured it. It's my story. I know I did nothing wrong or do anything different than what everyone else did, which brings the corruption to the whole case kind of to life. But I know that God sees your intentions and your heart. And if you move with pure intentions and the intent of doing something good and not something bad, it's more important to do that than to do something good with the wrong intentions or bad intentions. And I know I didn't move in a manner to hurt anyone deliberately or to do anything malicious, because that's just not my character. It's never been. But for anybody, it's difficult. I think for me, and I did it with no support. I lost everything, friends, family. I lost everything, and I did it for 17 years on my own. And it was a struggle, but it goes back to the unhealthy coping mechanisms. I was drinking a lot. And I think between that and just trying to hold on to that little piece of hope that I had for like the truth to come out, because everything in the dark will come to light, but it's believing in yourself and in that faith to know that tomorrow's going to be better. It's day-to-day basis.
Your strength is unbelievable. I do want to go back to the drinking. Over the years of dealing with that, did that cause the drinking? Did you get into drugs? Were there other things that you were at risk because of what happened? And keeping it inside, did you experience other sort of just ways of coping in unhealthy ways afterwards?
Of course. I mean, I think, I can't speak for other victims, but I know for me, I was a full-blown alcoholic by the time I was 16. Alcoholism runs in my family. There was drug usage. It was my way of kind of controlling the narrative and controlling what I wanted to do. And then, early adulthood, I think I was 22, and I had another tragedy hit me in life. I lost somebody very close. He was my boyfriend at the time. And it sparked something in me to get clean. I think it was just a rude awakening for me and the people and the company I was keeping. Trauma can distort your decision making. You don't have trust for yourself, let alone for other people. And it woke something in me, and I think at that point I snapped. And I just was like, I have to stop this. Like, I need to stop drinking. I need to, pull myself out of this. And I stopped dancing at 22. I tried my hardest to get my life together, and I made the best of what I could.